Good evening, good evening. Welcome to the second segment of Mindful Mondays. Today we will discuss how to bust those myths, those mindsets. Are there times you find yourself telling a story about yourself that isn't true? Does the story continue to replay in your mind? Allow JASI, your budgeting expert in
Hellmann from Hellmann's Healthy Hacienda.
to give you some tips on how to bust those myths.
So what is holding you back from pursuing your dream or dreams? So it's usually fear of failure and lack of self-confidence. So fear of failure and lack of self-confidence usually tie together like a really neat little bow. So when we have a lack of confidence, it usually means that we don't feel comfortable because we don't have the skill set that we would think that we would be successful at whatever we're trying to achieve. So in order for us to build that self-confidence, we need to build that skill set. So think of it as your toolbox. You need to build that toolbox with more tools so that you can have different situations that come up, you're able to go ahead and work with them in a more efficient and effective manner.
I also would like to add fear of failure is how you look at failure. Failure can be a stepping stone. So it's all about perspective of what failure is. Failure, if we change the perspective of it, it can help you grow. But most of all, we have to have the foundation of believing in ourselves. And like Ms. Hellmann said, having those skills, developing those skills, because then that will bring forth confidence. So change the mindset of how you think of fear, that I'm always a failure, or this is just how my life is going to be. Cancel that out and let's evaluate the failure and let's use that to grow as an individual and hopefully change our perspective to more positive towards the dreams that we're wanting to accomplish.
Exactly. You need to see it as a growth experience.
Spiritual. This piece here is what we're thinking constantly. Okay, this goes along the lines of the story that is constantly replayed in our minds. And most of the time, it's negative thoughts. And I've heard this before that every negative thought, you need 3 positive thoughts to push out that negative. So I've given you some daily affirmations. This is something that should constantly replay versus the other negative, like the negative story. Let this be your affirmation. Let this be your thought process. So let's start with number 1. Let's fill our minds and meditate on things that are true. A lot of times our minds drift off into a story or an imagination of what you think is going to happen or how it's going to happen or have you. And that's not necessarily true because we haven't lived it. So let's meditate on what is actually true. Noble, what is honest, what is moral, okay? What is, things that have integrity. Authentic, things that are genuine. Think of the best, not the worst. Think about excellence, how you have been performing at your job or with family or what have you. And we can look into our finances. The financial situation may not be where you want it to be, but are you making steps towards it being where you want it to be? And I think those steps are going to be very crucial. But the mindset piece and believing that it is possible, that means a lot for you to burst forward. Okay, so we have to have excellence in what we do at our jobs. Okay, next thing, things that are worthy of praise. So you may be like, this is not the house that I want. There's a house I'm looking at on Zillow right now that I want, and it costs this much, but I'm never going to be able to have it. That's not necessarily true. Okay, let's think about, I do have a house, I have a home, I have a roof over my head. Let's look around. the furniture is paid for. There's not these other needs, that I have. They're being provided for. So it's just finding what you currently, even in the situation that you're in right now, find something that is worthy of praise. Okay. Something that you have done, and think on that, and like, you know what, but at least I have done this. I've accomplished this.
Well, and I think one of the things is to daily start a gratitude journal just for small things. Because if you're able to be grateful for the small things, God always blesses hard work. So if you continue moving forward towards your dream, whether it's getting out of debt, whether it's saving for a big goal, and you keep your eyes centered on God, he will always bless hard work.
And that reference comes from Philippians 4:8.
So wellness, your biggest relationship is with yourself. So in order to improve your self-esteem, these are a couple of options that have worked. So daily workouts, that's going to create that feel-good mood to start your day or to end your day. So you're going to get that endorphin rush, and that endorphin rush is going to help you stay positive in spite of everything. Daily meditations. So get to know your true self. So sometimes we get wrapped up into everybody else's story, and we're not really concentrating on our own story, on writing our own story. So what do you truly want? What do you truly value? I think that that's huge, especially in this season, because this is going to be a time where you want to come out of it and say, you know what? I went in and it was really rough, but I came out and I knew what I truly wanted. This is my overall goal in order to achieve that. And I hate to say this, but your self is your biggest enemy. So you need to rewire those thoughts, and it's a daily action. It's a daily thought process. Get prepared for your day. You walk into your day so much better if you feel prepared. Be kind and generous. The way you show up in the world is going to serve somebody. It might not serve them initially, but it will serve them. And then live by your principles. And that goes back to getting to know yourself. One of the things that I've gotten really authentic about in this season is that one of our goals is to be completely debt-free, because I value that. That is huge for me and for my family. And that's, I know everybody has different goals, but technically I don't want a new car. I know that sounds weird, but I don't. I want to be debt-free. That's my overall goal. So that's it. And again, that's me spending quality time with myself.
The piece where you said, get prepared for your day, that reminds me of daily routine. When you have daily routine, it's our thoughts aren't sporadic or seem like things are just like out of grasp. It's like a calmness, if we stick to that regiment, and we're defining discipline. And it's like, I'm not out of sorts. So when I go to work, I know exactly what needs to be done, how I need to do it, because I prepared myself. And it just seems like the day is just a little bit smooth. I know we can't control every moment of the day, but the things that we can, it just seems so much smoother. Has that worked for you, Ms. Hellmann, or have you experienced something like that before?
Oh, exactly. I think it's huge. I make a point, and this is, I have to open my email at a certain time. And I know that, but I need to allot myself, like, I can't open my email on the sly I need to like mentally prepare myself to open my email.
Financial, some myths. I have to have this. I gotta have it. You know,
I
that new
do. It's a
iPhone
pretty
came
sweater.
out. I gotta get it. Do we? Do we really have to get it? Is it shameful to get the iPhone 5 versus the iPhone 12? The iPhone 12 is maybe $1,200. I'm totally exaggerating, but I may be close. And the iPhone 5 may be $400, $300. It's much more manageable. Patience, patience, patience is something that needs to be valued. That mindset to having patience versus the mindset of instant gratification. The next myth. We are always going to be broke. We're never going to have what we want. Not necessarily true if you have a plan. If you follow a daily financial plan that you set up for yourself, you can have it. But like something that you said in the time and you go, I don't want another car because I have one. We also got to be grateful for what we do have. Some things we just don't need. And we got to be able to identify our needs versus our wants. And with that, let's have patience, because if you have patience, it can eliminate those instant buys that is going to evaporate and be meaningless within a year. And you're like, why did I get that? I don't find that useful anymore. But you're always going to have that car note. You're always going to have that rent. You see, those things you're always going to have. But if we could plan for the wants, it's much more peace in that. Much more peace. What do you think, Ms. Hellmann?
That's very true. We were having a conversation and I said on Thursday, I went grocery shopping and it was already late and I was driving home and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to pick up something to eat for my son. It'll be easy. And I was like, wait a minute. Because last month in December, I looked at her grocery bill and it was wow. It was. So I was like, nope. So after a long day at work, bringing in all the groceries, I made him dinner and I made myself dinner. It wasn't really any more time. He was still going to eat at the same amount at the same time frame.
Right.
Whether I picked up something that was going to be like $7 or $3 or whatever. But I had to hold myself back from going through that to that drive-through because I was like, nope, because that's not, I have money set aside for, picking up something, but not for fast food.
And I think that visual piece that you just explained there, how you went back to the goal. You went back to the vision that you and your husband set for your family. And that's a plan that you're holding yourself accountable to that plan. So when those unexpected type of thoughts, like that seems real convenient, real easy, come up, I can revert back to, no, this is what we're trying to do. And you're valuing the outcome. You're valuing the overall goal that you and your husband set. And so that makes it outweigh that easy access to, let me pick up something real quick,
Well, and we are a convenient society. Like everything is, we are, and I'm right there with you. I don't even want to tell you my Amazon issues. I'm just like, Amazon, we got to break up. Like it's bad. Like we got to break up because we're, so if you've seen the experiment where they go ahead and give the 3-year-old the marshmallow and they explain to them, if you eat this marshmallow right now, you might not want to, because if you wait like 3 minutes or 5 minutes, I'm going to come back and just don't eat it right now. So the kid's like sitting there and they're like, okay. So then the adult leaves, and then so some of the kiddos eat the marshmallow. And that's basically how I was in December. I was eating the marshmallows like you wouldn't believe. But in January, I'm trying to keep that marshmallow. I'm trying.
Right.
I'm not saying I show up perfectly every single day, but I am progressing. I am moving inch by inch forward. And I think that that's huge.
Right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our second segment of Mindful Mondays. We have our resource page. You're going to be able to go in the description piece and click these links, or you can just type this in your Google and find us for our tips that we've given today. We've made reference to a couple of awesome resources, so check them out.
Have a good one.
See you next Monday. Bye.